Hello everyone and welcome back to ApexRacing TV. You join us for the final race of the evening here at Imola in the BSR MX5 Monday Cup. The grid's up on your screen right now as currently taking pole position, or taking pole position I should say, for race 3 is Dale Benison. Second place is Edward May, third place Carl Hardy, fourth place Dan Blake, starting in the pits. David Dares in fifth, Ralph Cullen in sixth, seventh place Des Banks, eighth place is Mick Barry. Ninth place is Andy Maxwell. 10th place is James Eagles. Also at the moment as well, during the race, we'll take you through the championship the live championship standings that we got after race 2. Once the race gets underway. But race 3 is underway, and Dale Benison gets a great start off the line, but alongside behind them is Carl Hardy in third. They head down to turn 1, and it'll be interesting to see if everyone can make it through without any issues and make it through cleanly. As Ed May goes around the outside into turn 1, and move on the outside of Dale Benison into turn 1. Fantastic stuff.
That's his trademark move tonight. Run the outside for the lead as Simon Watton is behind those trees and not in a happy position because he is down to the penultimate place. Alex Rivette also going very, very slowly. I think he started from the pits. Back to the front then. Edward May, Del Benison, Carl Hardy on the inside. Winner of race 1, trying to fight for another win in race 3.
Absolutely. It looks like most people made it through the first 3 corners in one piece, but we're currently looking up at the front. Now it looks like contact between one of the Fury Simsport and Result Clothing cars behind.
Yeah, I think that was maybe Mick Barry, probably Mick Barry. They are all together, and this is going to be an issue, I think, here at Acque Minerali. And there is a little bit of contact there. Bennison goes wide. Ayers is all out of the racing surface. Hopefully, doesn't get a slowdown. But there's quite a nice train behind Carl Hardy, and like we have seen in oh man.
Oh, Hardy's got to slow down as well. So is Benison, I think.
I mean, like we've seen in race 1, the leader pulls away and all the others, at least in the first few laps, are left to fight out in order to get good track position. The only difference is that in this case, I think Edward May is the quickest driver of the field tonight, so it might prove tough to catch him going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Dale Benson. I mean, Edward May is one of the year one racing cars has had issues, and also Martin Sampson in the background as well.
Yes, something must have happened there between these two guys. Let's get a replay of that from the chopper. So this is Steve Cooley. As John Moore is in the pits, Steve Cooley. Oh, look at that.
Wow. Yeah, Sampson just caught the grass and got sideways under braking and he was just a passing. Sorry, he went ploughing into the side of Steve Cooley.
I mean, I don't think that Cooley was expecting any of this, and that was such a big hit. Very, very unlucky for Steve as he goes back to the pits. Alex Rivette is in. I'm a bit confused because it's showing Alex Rivette 1 lap down. So that's a bit weird. As we have a car pointing in the wrong direction is Jess Banks at Tosa. Lots of smoke coming out of his rear tires there. Andy Maxwell sitting in P4 and trying to get a move on David Ayers, who is in P3 right now. So trying to get some intelligence on what happened to Alex Rivette. Maybe a late tow, and when you tow too late, you get put 1 lap down by iRacing. I have no idea because trying to understand what happened to him, but it's eluding me at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened as we're on board with James Eaglestone trying to make a move into the chicane, trying to make a move on Andy Maxwell, but can't get it done. And yeah, just Eaglestone lost his momentum a little bit in the exit of the chicane, and looking back up at the 2 leaders as well.
Slow down for David Ayers.
David Ayers has got a slow down, and it's allowed James Eaglestone to try and make a move on the outside, and he manages to make it. And alongside David Ayers is his teammate Carl Hardy making a move on the inside, the one if Hardy might try and use a bit of side draft to try and get by, try and get by Imola.
As they go almost 3 wide, the two Result Clothing guys, of course, playing it safe. They don't want to crash into each other, so Eaglestone, Hardy. We also have Mick Barry joining the party there.
Yep,
So,
McBarry's
yeah.
trying to make a move on his teammate,
Yeah,
but
so
then
yeah,
decides to knock him behind.
Eaglestone has been followed by train of Result Clothing cars, and that is of course never an easy thing to do. Raf Kalinan had the fastest lap of the race last time around, 205.5, 206.4 for Edward May, so Kalinan up 4 positions and pushing really hard, trying to get something out of this third race of the season, as now Steve Cooley is back on the lead lap. Sorry, Alex Rivetti is back on the lead lap. Here we go, in 11th position. So something weird must have happened with iRacing live timing, but glad it's all been solved.
That was good to hear as we look up. Excuse me. As yeah, David, there's a trying to James Eaglestone's head into the chicane, but Davis can't get it done, and Eaglestone ends up position. But behind David, there's his result floating teammate Carl Hardy and McBarry, and yeah, also not far behind those three, Scott Malcolm for Team Mad.
Looking at the rear end of Eaglestone's car, looking back at Ayers, Hardy, Barry and Malcolm. May 204.9 responds to Kalinan, and with authority, 1 second gained on second place by the Fury Sim Sports driver. As we go back to the first corner once again, and Eaglestone with his mirror full of the very colorful Result Clothing liveries. There's almost forcing the issue there now, maybe under attack from Carl Hardy. Mick Barry there surveilling the situation. Scott Malcolm, another Result Clothing guy, joining this train. They are, I mean, I don't know, hopefully James Eaglestone, I mean, he had a race win tonight already, so he will sleep well, but that's the stuff of nightmares, I think. You look in the mirror and you have 4 very hungry and quick Result Clothing drivers hunting you down in an MX5 race. As the drivers go back to Acque Minerali once again, as trying to re-establish connection with Ryan, who should be back.
Sorry.
Should be, oh no, it is not Ryan's fault, Discord's fault, who is acting up tonight, sadly. So we will hear Ryan when he comes back, because we should hear his voice, of course. Alex Rivette trying to pass his teammate. Hopefully they are on the radio. I think they were, because Rivette takes the position with ease. And back to this train behind James Eaglestone, absolutely put under pressure by the Result Clothing guys, with left side of his car looking a little bit, more than a little bit damaged, I should say. Some scratches on the door, and the hood is a little bit, has seen better days. I think Ryan, no, he's not back. I mean, he is back. He is in the room with me. It's Discord that is not working. So Ryan is absolutely, innocent. As Hardy on the outside, we might have Ryan back.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, Discord's playing up a little bit, so yeah, you might hear me cutting out from time to time, but yeah, there's battle up at the front still going on between Carl Hardy, James Eaglestone, Mick Barry, and David Ayers, and also now catching up to them is Scott Malcolm.
Yes, I mean, these guys are really putting the pressure on James, and I think now James needs to gather himself back up, because otherwise he risks being passed by all of these resort clothing guys, one after the other. Look at now Mick Barry on the outside of his opponent there, and I think probably trying to pull the move into Piratella. Not going to be easy. Just a bit wide
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. Barry's wide. Barry's up the inside of it. Oh, I thought Barry was going to make a move up the inside of James Eaglestone, but Eaglestone manages to hold off Barry for manages to hold Barry off for 6th place at the moment. But
as we see the sun setting over the beautiful, beautiful bit of Italy that where Imola is, Emilia-Romagna, one of my favorite regions. Beautiful, beautiful places, lots of green, and some fantastic, fantastic food. As Jazz Banks has joined this party as well, so it's a long, long snake of cars. Meat especially is great around here, and of course tortellini. I mean, if you love tortellini, you have to come here.
oh, I love Italian food. But even though it's pretty obvious, I love Italian pizza. It's just fantastic.
So now Mick Barry seems to have the move nailed down on the inside at the Tamburello. Little bit deep on the brakes, but he makes it work. Now, maybe Jess Banks, who just passed Scott Malcolm, might give a hand to James Eaglestone and keep him company, as Eaglestone maybe tries to get a position back, but good defending there from Mick Barry. Whilst at the front, Edward May is pulling away, and you can see on your screen now the gap between the first two places now up to 5.9 seconds, and it has increased basically constantly in the last 3 laps. We had that lap where Cullinan had the fastest lap of the race, and you can see it was there in the second lap, but then really pushing hard is May at the front. So he finally could get his win, as Maxwell is around at Acqua Minerali, cutting a big chunk of the track and getting, I fear, a massive slowdown. So Ryan, the battle for the podium might be open once again.
Yeah, absolutely. This is for Max. This is for Maxwell, and yeah, looks like Maxwell just lost a bit of concentration, possibly made a little mistake, but you can't really afford to do that around Imola around here when you've got a reasonable gap to the cars behind you. If you do that, the cars will be right back on you in no time. But we're currently looking at Cal Hardy as well in 4th, right behind him his teammate Mick Barry. James Eaglestone is trying to make a move up the inside of Mick Barry, and I think this battle for the final podium positions, Marco, will probably be going down to the last lap, because no one seems to be able to shake each other off as Scott Malcolm runs wide in the grass a little bit in the exit of the final corner.
Couple more laps left in this race. Interesting to note that Carl Hardy wasn't able to pull away from the pack after making the move, and now under pressure from Mick Barry, who takes the inside. Will Hardy fight his teammate? He will, and he gives him a little loft up there into the first chicane. So all bets are off, I'd say, but they really need to work together, because they only have a couple of laps left if they want to catch up to Andy Maxwell and fight for that podium spot. And if they get to him, I mean, all of them will get to him. Carl Hardy, Eaglestone, Ayers, Banks, Malcolm going a bit wide, so maybe his chances at a top 5 finish are over. And let's go back to this fight here as Edward May goes wide at Piratella. No damage done. Yeah, let's see how Maxwell now is in a very tough position, because he was alone for pretty much the entirety of the race, and now just as a mistake, as Barry really likes to take the alternative line through Piratella. But now Maxwell is for that mistake, his only mistake, although a big one, is under pressure from 5 cars for the 3rd place spot.
Yeah, absolutely. these guys scrapping away amongst themselves. It's given Andy Maxwell breathing room. Sorry, but yeah, I think Maxwell, if he just keeps going and just keeps focused on in front of him and doesn't keep looking behind him all the time, I think he should have his podium in the bag. But McBarry is quickly catching up to him and closing the gap. But yeah, I think we've only got one more lap to go, and yeah, if these guys want a podium, they can't afford to hang around.
Jess Banks went past David Ayres as the final lap begins now. Edward May, your race leader. He lost 1 second to Ralph Collison, but he has 5.1 in the bag, so he should be okay. As also the third place driver and all the guys behind him start their final lap of the race, and now it's Carl Hardy on the inside of Mick Barry, so they are the best allies possible. Also, look at that, James Eagleston trying to push for a move on the inside, some contact there. And Mick Barry has been disqualified.
Yeah, I think that was a disqualification for Mick, which was unfortunate because he was having a good run. But yeah, I think that's gave Andy Maxwell the break that he needs to hold on to this podium position, as the two Fury Simsport cars are in this battle for a P5 or squabbling amongst themselves. But they have to watch because David Ayres from Result Clothing is right behind them.
Yes, nice comeback from Jess Banks, now up to P5. David Ayres trying to pull a move on Eagleston as they go to the Piratella corner for one last time. People very deep on the brakes. Side-by-side contact, damage to the front left of Jess Banks. Of Carl Hardy, of course. And back there because Maxwell really trying to defend on Carl Hardy, who has one chance, I think, down to Rivazza. Will he be able to make the most out of it and get a podium spot? As they hop on those curves as hard as they can without smashing or cutting the corner. As Jess Banks is around, and that's it for him. And Edward May is going towards a deserved race victory in the end.
Absolutely, a fantastic drive by Edward May. He managed to pull away and build up a gap when other people were squabbling amongst themselves. He's pulled away and took the win, and absolutely well deserved. A great result for Ralph Holland in second place as well. And then Andy Maxwell holds on to take the final podium position in third place, just ahead of Carl Hardy.
Yes, so Edward May gets his win. Ralph Collison, big thumbs up for him. He gets a nice podium today. Here comes all the train of cars. Of course, Jess Banks down to P10. And losing some valuable points, I think, in the race for the title. It's still a long way to go. We are only in the second week. Or third week of the season? I honestly can't remember. It's the third week of the season. There will be 12 rounds. There is still some time left for these guys. Here comes... we have 3 guys missing. Steve Cooley, Martin Sampson and John Moore. Mick Barry has been disqualified, so in the end he will finish in last place. And just like in the other race that we had, in all the other races that we have had tonight, everyone who finished on the lead lap, so we're able to mount a comeback. Alex Rivette, a couple of words for him. He had 2 very unlucky races to start the night. He finishes in a decent P8 this third race and is able to get some points in the bag. As Cooley comes to the start-finish line. Also Scott Malcolm coming in for race 3 gets a very nice P7, considered he started all the way back from last place because he didn't take part in race 2. Martin Sampson coming to the finish line, and John Moore also will round up the proceedings tonight here in Imola.
Absolutely, I have to say, Marco, it's been a great evening, and the racing, as always, in this series has been fantastic in race 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, absolutely, and look at this fantastic shot that we can get of the Fury Sim Sport guys, and as soon as they tow back to the pits. So, I mean, guys, come on. But yeah, I mean, all jokes aside, nice win there for Fury Sim Sport Edward May. I mean, I say he could have had three victories tonight, so he will be a bit dejected by that. But it's always nice to get a race win and go home happy, you know, getting the win in the final race of the season. Speaking of which, of the night, sorry. Speaking of which, here are your race results for race 3.
Absolutely, results are up on your screen. Edward May takes the final race of the evening from Ralph Collin in second. Rounded at the top three is Andy Maxwell in third. Fourth place is Carl Hardy. James Eaglestone finishes in fifth. David Ayres finishes in sixth. Seventh place was Scott Malcolm. Eighth place is Alex Rivette. Dan Blake finishes in ninth. Rounding at the top 10 is Jez Banks. 11th place is Dale Benison. 12th place is Simon Wotton. 13th place is Steve Cooley. 14th is Martin Sampson. John Mayer finishes in 15th, and Mick Barry unfortunately retired from the race after receiving a disqualification.